she could do on the side or somebody can do on the side. And I think that's so important for people to have a plan B, because in this world right now, there's so many different things that, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. The people that were in Hawaii had all those businesses on in that little town. If they had a plan B, I bet you they'd be feeling a whole lot more comfortable right now, as they're going through a really tragic time. For us, ASEA has been a godsend. We did have some credit debt too. Thank goodness it wasn't $100,000, but we were able to get out of that and move on to living a lifestyle that we never dreamed of. But most importantly, being able to, most of the, I'm sorry, I was going to say, the joys of a little kid. Can't find the trailer to the car, but we now, not only are we able to, be out of debt and live the lifestyle we want, but more importantly, we're able to help out others when we want to and do the things that we always dreamed of being able to do, helping out different organizations, helping out, our kids as they need it. Being, maybe even a bank for them instead of them going to a traditional bank for their loans on things they need. So it really has been a very profitable business for our family, and it can be for anybody that wants to take it to that level also. As we're in 33 different countries, we're in so many different countries, and now getting the access into, even China with the program there. There's we have a corporate staff that, that was a concern we had, was how is this incredible vision that we have in ASEA and the incredible ethos that we have as a company, how is that going to ever be passed from generation to generation? And we're seeing that happen. It started out with our founder, Vertus Norton, who's now in his 80s. He's retired, but while he was working with ASEA, he brought up a group of incredible fine gentlemen who he could share that vision, share the business strategies with. Those gentlemen, are going to sometime be retiring, and now they're bringing up another generation before they're stepping aside, so that our ethos, both in how we relate to people, but also our ethos of being a debt-free company, will continue on. And that is very important to us and to our family. So I'm not sure, Diana, what you wanted, but that's what was really on my heart right there to share to start with. So I went with it.
Thank you. No, that's wonderful. Could you briefly introduce your current rank and how long you've been with ASEA?
Yeah, I'm Marcia White. My husband Jerry and I have been with ASEA. It will be 11 years come this fall. We started, just a minute, honey. We are now Ambassador Diamonds, which is moving quite a ways up the ranks. We had to pedal hard to start with. We had a real financial need. We didn't realize we had some health needs, but those also started going away that we thought we were just going to be living with because we were getting older. And so we've benefited both financially and with our health. I currently, at 65, am going to the World Championships for the Ironman 70.3 next week. I'll be competing on the 26th. No way without this product I could have done that kind of race. I had some breathing issues. I had some major issues with my feet and my back. And 2 years ago, I did my first full Ironman, which is it's a 2.4 mile swim, a 112 mile bike, and a 26.2 mile run at the end. Never, ever, ever would have dreamed of being able to do that with some of the things I had going on in my body and my mind.
I'm so impressed with
and have that mindset.
Yeah.
So that's a little about who I am and where we've come from. And our desire now is just to help other people to reach their dreams. We were unable to dream when we first started out. Maybe you're at that point where you're just thinking, you know what, I'm just going to be living my days, putting one foot in front of the other. You know, how many people do you know that are living their life like that right now and just trying to make it? And we had kind of gotten to that point, and we had to actually really work at learning to dream again about what we would do. What would we do with an extra $250? What would we do with an extra $5,000? What would we do with an extra $50,000? We just couldn't even conceive that. But so it's really important to learn to dream again. And it doesn't matter your age, whether you're, you know, in today's world, 25, 30 to 35-year-olds, a lot of them are thinking they're just stuck in a rut, and that's just the way life is going to be. And there's a lot of 65 to 75-year-olds that are kind of in that same place. And we have something to help people to get away, to break out of that with mindset, physical issues, and financial issues. So.
Oh, that's a great summary. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so impressed that you do the Ironmans, not just one, but like multiple. Barbara.
Marcia, what are your key things that you think new distributors should do on a daily basis if possible?
I think one is to first decide how much time you would like to put into building your ASEA business. And then once you've done that, if it's 10 hours, if it's 40 hours, what are you going to take away from your schedule and replace with the hours that you're going to do in ASEA? You know, people will say, oh, I'm going to put 10 hours in, but if you don't take away something to make specifically that time, then all the tools, all the other things are not going to really work for you. And so that would be my number one thing. Number two, I would say that consistency. With my training for Ironman, I currently wear this silly gold or orange, that's the color, orange bracelet to remind me when I don't feel like it, that I need to go out and do my workout for that day. I need to be consistent because, you know, otherwise my body's not going to handle it. The same thing with your business. If you're not consistent in what you do, whether it's saying you're going to contact one new person a day and do one follow-up a day to somebody, whatever it is that you set that you're going to do, you need to have a consistency with that. And one great way to do that is like Barbara does. She's on the lead from the front call every day. To be able to say, this is what I'm doing, you know, and hear what other people are doing to encourage her there. I think that's really important. You guys have this call, which I wouldn't miss, you know, that's a commitment to each other here. Maybe pick somebody that's on here, or it can be somebody that's cross line that you just call every day and say, yep, I got it done. I have on my phone, I have an app with my workout things, and with my buddy Dexter, we can see each other's workout every day, what we did. So, you know, I know she's checking up on me and she knows that I'm checking up on her. You can do the same thing with your business. It just can be a simple text. It doesn't have to be, you know, 2 hours of your 10 hours you're giving that you're doing accountability. Just a simple text. Got my one new contact, got my one follow-up done, you know, and text it, but have somebody that you do that with every single day. You know, you can have one day off. I take one day off of working out. You know, you can take one day off, but be consistent on the other 6 if you're going to do that. One thing you have to think about, though, is when you do take that one day off, sometimes it's hard to do the next day. It's just like that momentum, that feeling, that consistency goes away. So sometimes you might, while you're starting, want to go 7 days a week, especially for something simple. As far as like raising kids, I tell my adult children with their kids, pick 3 things that are non-negotiables. don't, there's a whole list of things that you would like your kids to do, or I'd like my associates to do, but pick 3 non-negotiables. What are they going to be for you that you have to do every day that are what we call above the line things that you do, like reading, and above the line is going to actually be income producing items. So, it's important for you to maybe read or listen to some mind, some growth things every day, but that's not above the line. That doesn't count as one of your 3 non-negotiable above the lines. But reaching out and following up with somebody, that's an above the line. Reaching out and touching one of your already leaders in your group every day, that would be or somebody that would be above the line, because you keep helping them to stay consistent. And then reaching out to a new person that you haven't talked to, a new contact every day, that would be an example of an above the line activity. Sitting and looking at reports on your back office, that's not above the line. Once a week, maybe printing that out, that is necessary for, knowing where you're going and knowing where you want the puck to be. Because if you don't know where you are right now in your business, it's hard to see where you want that puck to, where you want that business to go. Tyler Norton will always talks about, where's the puck going to be? Right now, the puck is here, but where is it going to be down the road? Where do you want to be? Where do you want that shot to go? You've got to be looking at that too. So, it is important that you do look at your back office, at your dashboard, what your volumes are, what your direct, who's close to Director 300, that type of thing. So I don't know if that answers your questions. Probably a little more than you wanted, Barb, but long-winded today, I guess.
Those are great. I love the points about.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I appreciate the points about consistency. Being that this is a home-based business for most of us, having a structure of how to do it is really important to help us continue to going. Like for me, I just set aside certain hours that I do the business. And Marcia's point about what we call above the line and below the line activities. These are all activities that contribute to the business, but what's classified as an above the line business is those things that directly contribute to income producing activities, such as reaching out and connecting with new people, doing the ask, doing follow-ups, helping your new team members get started and stuff like that. So those are great. And I love your point about know where the puck is going to go. That's a hockey term of knowing where you want to pass the puck in gameplay to be able to get to the goal. So whichever terms that you use, for those of you who are not hockey backgrounds. Any other questions for Marcia? And welcome to our new people that came in. Gloria, did you want to introduce anyone?
The team members already, so they are not new.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone.
Thank
Barbara?
you.
Marcia, do you have any favorite testimonies you would like to share?
Do I have any favorite testimonies? My favorite testimonies are any out there, but probably one that's maybe not as, we're all associates on here, or do we have any guests on here?
Everybody's an associate.
Okay. The reason I ask that is because we need to make sure to always say that we are not a medical device. We do not cure, we do not prevent any medical conditions, because we are a supplement. So that disclaimer said. One of my favorites is a mother of my daughter's college roommate who had stage 4, I'm just going to say cancer because we're all associates here. She had a lump the size of larger than a golf ball in her armpit still. and she used the advanced.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Salome is not associate yet, but she's planning to become soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Solomon, you didn't hear that word then. You didn't hear that C word. But she had this limp in her armpit that had come from some problems she was having in her breast. And chose to just drink. She had done all natural, chose to just drink the ASEA and then use the blue Renew Advanced serum and apply that, and it has dissipated. So that was one of my favorite to hear. My other extreme of favorite is just my little guys that are here right now that you just saw. We have mosquitoes here. They're outside all the time, and they get a bite or they get a bee sting, and that same the little blue tube of Renew Advanced serum, you stick that on right away, they have no issues. I mean, you can have a little kid get stung in the tenderest of skins and put that serum on it right away, and the tears are gone. It's awesome. So that's exciting to me. I have a cute little video I need to post sometime of my little Lorelei that was on here, and we were up at our cabin, and she went out, she just got eaten alive. Yeah. She comes in from the morning from the trailer. We have a cabin, then we have a trailer. The kids stay in the trailer. And she comes in carrying her little advanced, tube. And I just asked her, what's that for? It's for my owies. And I said, what'd you use it for today? Well, my mosquito bites. She just knows to carry it with her when she gets them. So that's, it can be used from anything, from diaper rash on. But, the other thing that is probably, it's not a dramatic thing again. And that's what I love about ASEA is it doesn't have to go after the big bad things, but in life it's a prevention too, and it's given us a health that we could never imagine having right now. My son-in-law is a third grade teacher. Third graders bring a lot of gunk to school and he will go and he will miss maybe one day of school. And I think that was last year because he had COVID and he had to stay out for a couple days. But now, it was so minor. He stayed, actually, I think he missed one day of school, the way the weekend fell. But he's been able to have a month of time off to be home with their new babies because he never has to use his sick days for being sick. And that's probably one of my favorite things is just not dealing with being sick. I don't like to be sick. I don't have patience for it anymore. If I do get a cold or something now, it's so hard to be patient. If that cold lasts 3 or 4 days, I think it's the end of the world. And back in the old days, it was, if it was gone in 2 weeks, you were lucky. So I love the prevention. I love the health. That's probably my absolute favorite testimony is people just going through life healthy.
Awesome. Barbara?
Thanks again.
Yeah.
No, those are great tips. Yeah, for first aid, it's wonderful. I remember Dr. Maureen sharing about she had a party or attended a party and somebody accidentally got a finger smashed in a sliding glass door. And she showed photos of after stitches, but they stopped the bleeding by dunking it in a shot glass of ASEA. I was like, seriously, man?
My son put his fingers through the table saw and came to me at 1 o'clock in the morning. Mom, you got to come out here, Mom. And his fingers are just, it was a mess. I didn't know what to do. It's like, okay, if I put a towel around it or something, it's going to really hurt. So I can't do that. I thought, well, and it was when we were relatively new to ASEA. And I thought, well, I've heard it stops bleeding. So I said, Jacob, put your hand over the sink, grabbed a bottle of ASEA, went glug, 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 and it stopped bleeding. Wow. I would never believe it if I hadn't seen it. And I said, well, okay, here we go again. Because, once is good, twice is better. So I went glug, glug, glug. It didn't start bleeding again until he was in the emergency room and the doctor started messing with it. So, wow. And he went through good with the table saw. So
Oh,
Yeah. It's just, you know, your imagination is your limitation on what ASEA can help you with. And on a daily basis, I recommend with your Renew 20, you know, that you're drinking it, of course, but with your Renew 28, when you take your shower, you're going to take your Renew 28, you're going to put it in your armpits, get your lymph system started. You're going to put it on your major arteries and veins through your neck, and then of course your face, and then any other problem areas you have. But those, I personally put it from here down to my toes, because you know, I'm working out quite a bit, and I know also that your feet have so many acupuncture points and stuff that why would I not be rubbing Renew 28 into my feet at least once a day?
wow. How often, how many times a day do you do that?
At least every time I shower. And then if I have a hard workout, sometimes before and after, I'll put it on those places, and before bed, I'll put it on my feet.
Okay,
So,
interesting. That's good.
yeah.
I know for me, if I'm coming down with a sinus cold, then I do a nasal rinse with the ASEA. 1 to 3 times with the nasal rinse, and it's
Yeah.
good. That's
Yep.
like, wow. That's
Yeah.
so I'm so glad to know ASEA. It's...
All right.
Any other questions for Marcia?
All right. Well, I'm going to step out because I have some hungry little grandkids who I had promised lunch to. So it's
Thank you
great
so
to
much
see
for
you all.
joining.
Thanks, Marcia.
Okay. Bye-bye.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Barbara, you still had your hand raised. Did you have something
Yeah,
you wanted to add?
I would like to point out that Marcia is one of the best people for back of the house questions. So if you've got issues or questions about back of the house things, you know, talk to Diane or Philippe first. And if they don't know the answer, we can get it from Marcia. So I just wanted to share that.
You mean the
Wow.
virtual office?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, she's really good with knowing where to get information and what kind of reports, or where to go to get reports or do stuff in on the tool. Please. Any other comments or discussion? I do have a presentation I can share, but I just wanted to make sure that we've covered everything first.
Well, maybe I could just say for me, this thing there works so well. I usually use that. That's how we say that, the
Like a
vapor-
nebulizer?
yes, nebulizer. I'm using it morning, at the morning, and early when I wake up, and when at bed, just before I go to the bed.
Okay, very nice. The nice thing about
I saw a difference already.
the thing with the nebulizer is you're breathing the mist of the ASEA directly into your lungs, and it can absorb there. For people with challenges in their lungs, it's a great way to get the molecules to that location.
It's good for brain too. I have friend, her kids have brain problem, and she doesn't have enough money to pay the ASEA, so she use a nebulizer. Works the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's
help to save some money.
it's a
Yeah.
low cost way to use, so you don't use that much product.
Yeah.
But it still gets directly into your bloodstream.
Yeah, and the Renew 28 when we go in the shower and we do everywhere, that's very good also.
We have to say that that has to be done on a very dry skin. So after the shower, when everything is back to dryness. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
Good
regarding the
point.
nebulizer, I would like to emphasize the fact that this absorption via the lungs as carries all impact favorably everything that is about neurological, cognitive in terms of I would say mental performance in particular, and it has been shown in a connection between that nebulization, breathing the mist of signaling molecules, will go a long way and better than in the other ways, except of the one putting on the face, to still replenish basically what is missing at the brain level. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Very nice. Any comments or questions from our new folks or guests? Okay. So I don't know if who has seen this presentation so far or not.
Real quick, Zeus had
Yep.
a quick question. Sorry, Diane.
No, go ahead.
How are you doing? I'm
Hello.
upside down. There you go. So I did have a question. This morning I was considering thought and thinking and how the interplay of thought actually diagnoses the future event of most things through the placebo and the nocebo effect. Now, I understand that the momentum is generally going, this stuff works, okay? So my thoughts were in the direction that we're running. I've noticed some individuals creating testimonies out of themselves in thought. I'm wondering, is once we're taking the ASEA product, I believe it's pretty much a direct representation of prana. And with that being the case, there, the power of thought and intention. I think that's, would you agree that could be something that's causing illness in most people that do take this, when I don't believe there should be any reason for it? You think there's maybe issues with cleansing, what they're doing and what's being taught on how to properly cleanse the human body while using the ASEA product? Well, because well, anyway, that's kind of the question. Do you think we're having a miscommunication in the actual usage of the product? Because if people have been taking ASEA for years, their body should be pretty well cleansed unless they're not cleansing their body. I see that. That's just my question. What do you say?
Just trying to make sure I understand.
That is a very good question. I can address that one.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. Okay, Ruth, thank you for your question. It's a very good question. The answer is relatively simple compared to the complexity of your question. We fabricate those redox signaling molecules in every single healthy cells of our body. So this is not an addition that is foreign to the body. The way you describe in your question the process and asking if the power of intent could magnify this type of thing doesn't play much here, because through age, with time, and depending on the pressure, the adversity one meets, that regardless of the age, we are declining in terms of capacity to fabricate those redox signaling molecules in every single of our healthy cells. That means if some of our cells are no longer healthy, they are not functioning normally, the first loss in terms of performance of this cell is to lose the ability to fabricate these redox signaling molecules. They are fundamentally essential. This is a necessary performance that is sustaining cell health, if you will. So if we don't have a healthy cell despite this mechanism of sustaining health, that means the capacity of the cell has been overwhelmed by adversity and the power of intent cannot work. I am myself neurophysiologist, so I understand very well the connection you talk about. And now, another good way to to witness that is when you give to an animal or a plant that is disabled a supplementation in redox signaling molecules, animal and plant don't have a particular awareness of what they take in terms of intent to make them feel better out of that intent. So from small to large animals, from small to large plants, it has been observed a very similar phenomenon. So, of course, we can be comforted as humans while taking something that is told to help us. There's always a comforting feeling, etc. But the power of intent, I don't think, goes to that extent in terms of making a difference. One of the other reasons of that is to have a strong intent. We have to be overall strong cell-wise, because we are everything that is mental or intellectual or emotional performance will reflect also what is the substratum, the physical substratum that is allowing us to be comfortable and performant intellectually, emotionally, and so forth, and balanced in those aspects. The same for the physical, of course. So there's
Dr. Philippe, maybe
go
this
ahead.
would be a good conversation for you and Zeus to have one-on-one at convention.
Absolutely, yes.
That'd be fantastic.
Yes, yes.
You know, I was thinking,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Zeus. Yeah.
Go ahead.
oh, I was thinking that communication wise, since the human body is have you done study under Bruce Lipton on epigenetics? 700 trillion volts of electricity we emanate as beings. And so we're creating in the field a brand new field of thought and thinking that manifests into what we think. So how do we change the initiation of thought
Okay,
when
I think
we're in a vibration?
yeah, very good question. I am able to answer that, but it would take a solid 20 minutes minimum. And it is far beyond the scope of this particular session, because we already, both you and I, lost everybody behind us. So we don't want to do that. But yes, there are connections. The physics are there, as you understand. And I'll be pleased to continue this conversation with you and I. And then once you are satisfied with the answers I will give you, you may come next time and witness in simple words to our group your take on that, and that will be a sort of testimony from your part. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Philippe.
Very welcome. It's a pleasure to
I've
meet
also,
you, Zeus. Yeah.
thank you, Philippe, for taking that, Christian. I've also posted in the chat just one of the testimonials that I happen to know off the top of my head of somebody who was very skeptical, just did not think the product would work for her at all, and what kind of results that she got. So if it's
Absolutely
helpful, you can take a look at that.
Yeah, and that is an indirect answer to your question, Zeus, as well, is the number of skeptics that have been just experiencing the changes with this supplementation, and I insist, this is a supplementation, is numberless now. So it is really
Thank you.
interesting.
So we have technically about 15 minutes left in the meeting. My presentation is probably at least 20, 30 minutes. I'll just show you the topic and
go for it.
take a poll to see if you're interested in taking a look at that. So what it's about is just some tips that I've collected from all the leaders in the ASEA group about things to keep in mind if you're looking to build a business or more focused, and some of the concepts in the compensation plan to keep in mind that will help you in that regard. Would this be of interest for me to go through?
On behalf of the team, I say yes. Now, everyone who wants to express himself or herself.
Okay, so in any case, I would say thank you everyone for joining, and then you're welcome to stay as you wish. So, as you know, my name is Diana Peterson. I'm in the ASEA for about 2 years. I'm a prolific note taker, and I love to collect ideas and share them. So this is about compensation tips for builders, business builders. So this is for associates in ASEA that want to build a business. Now, if somebody wants to build in a casual way, that's fine. That's no problem. You can do it as you wish. But these are some things that will help you along your journey so that you can get some income coming in ASEA. This includes your why, mindset, different activities to be focusing on, as well as the compensation concepts to leverage. So what helps to be successful in this business is if you're hungry, willing, and coachable. That means that you're motivated, you're willing to and able to take action, and that to learn from the people who have come before us. Network marketing is a skill, and we all need to learn it regardless of our background and how capable we think we are, including myself, thinking that I'm a very capable person, but I'm not capable in network marketing, so I've had to learn this. So sales in general can be an emotional up and down kind of a thing, because people are saying no, even though you have things to offer, because not everybody is a customer, but it's our job to find the people who are a customer. So understanding what we call our why is a key piece in helping us to continue to have the consistency on a daily basis and over time. Both of those things are necessary in order to be successful. So the why is different for every single person. It may be that you want to be able to put your children through school or through university, or have time to have vacation, or different things. The best way to figure out what's core for you is to write down what your why is. Let's say that you want to be able to have a vacation for all of you as a family to go together. And then continue to say, okay, so I want to go on vacation. Why is that important as a family? And it's like, because I haven't had time to be there now because I'm always away or I'm always traveling for my work. So just keep asking and refining that until there's an emotional feeling related to that. They call it a why that makes you cry, or it's just deeply connected with what's important to you. That's the kind of why that will keep you going towards your goals, whatever your goals are. Write it down and put it in a place that you can access it regularly. So here we have Albert, who's making his why that he wants his girlfriend and a stash of bumblebee tuna. So set your goal that you want to work towards, make it specific so that you know when it's done, review it daily, visualize it in the terms of now, make your goals worded in a positive way. Like, I don't want to be poor would not be the way to pay it. It's like, but I want to always have enough money is a positive way of phrasing a goal, which is the recommended way to do this. Now, once you set your goals, if you want to change them later, that's okay. Because maybe your circumstances change or you learn more. That's okay. We recommend to set big goals because that stretches your belief. People have said that the situation that we are financially reflects our current mindset. So there's opportunity for us to review and update our mindset as we do this. And that's one of the things that I've learned the most in working with ASEA is just working on my mindset. It's been wonderful. Share your why and your goals with your accountability partner or your upline so they can help you. That's the SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So that helps if you can set your goals in a format like that. It just makes them easier to know when you've achieved them. Some points that have been shared about business rhythm. SAM is strategy, action, which is consistent, and mindset are really helpful things. And then the steps themselves is selling the product to other people, recruiting other colleagues in your team, helping them to duplicate your results, and then leading the team to overall productivity. So those are the main steps in network marketing. Mindset is so key. When I first started, I had no idea that this really did matter or not. It's like, yeah, whatever. So requires work on our business. So the daily steps of reaching out to new people and following up on prospects, and also working on ourselves so that we can be a better person, a better at our skills, and also a better leader. My favorite quote is, "This business is a self-improvement plan, cleverly disguised as an income opportunity." When I first heard that, I didn't believe it, but it's been so true for me. When we have, like, especially depending on your background, a lot of us have had things taught to us that are not necessarily rules of thumb that are helpful in our lives. But it is possible to change those by becoming aware of what we taught, the little voice in our head that goes around. Part of the first step is just noticing it so that you can change it. So if I'm saying to myself, money is bad, but I'm trying to earn money, then I need to catch myself and say, money is good. It is a tool. It's a neutral tool. I choose to do good with it. And don't make yourself small for anyone. So, and my favorite quote is, "Never give up, never surrender," from my favorite sci-fi spoof movie, Galaxy Quest. Another thing that's really helpful to keep in mind is be emotionally detached from your prospects' answers. The process of sales is you're asking a lot, or connecting with a lot of people to help educate them about what we do and what we can offer them to solve their problems. And that may be what they need, and it may not be what they need. Regardless of what we think it can help with them, they have to be able to receive it. So whether it's a yes or a no, if the more neutral we can be, the less of a roller coaster it is, and it's much easier to continue. And I've had to learn this in the hard way. Don't compare yourselves to others. For those of us who haven't been in network marketing before, we just have a little bit more learning to do. Or if somebody doesn't have a lot of time to spend on the business, they may not progress as fast as somebody who has a lot of time to invest. That's okay. There's no right or wrong way on how fast you have to get there. The goal is the same. The top of the mountain is the same, regardless of how you got there. So that's okay. The key is persistence. Be yourself, be authentic. That's one of the things that I really love about ASEA is the focus on ethics and being clear and respectful, and focusing on educating people, not selling or pushing people. Always keep learning. When we try new things, it can be uncomfortable. So we always get reminded, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And if it's been a while since we've been in school or had to learn new things, it can get a bit awkward to get into that space. And that's why it's really helpful to have a team around us, or accountability partners, or the upline that can assist. Also consider who we have around us, who's coaching us, or talking with us, or who we hang out with. That's why reading materials from mentors or people who really know this area or are good at this kind of work is really super helpful. There's also team events like this. There's morning calls we can share with you that you can attend to help be around other people. They say an ember stays bright if it's with other embers rather than by itself. So be the type of person that you want to be to recruit. Do you want to be a grumpy person? Do you want to be around? Be an upbeat, positive, constructive, educational, warm listener. Don't be a grumpy person. Take those days off if you need to. So be the type of person you want to recruit. Consistency, we've already mentioned this. Let habits work for you. If it's a habit that there's always a time of day that you do this work, it really does help. Like for me, the time that I do my calls is in the morning. And then I do everything else in the afternoon. Set a daily goal, maybe connecting with one new prospect a day, maybe two if you're going to be really super aggressive. One doesn't sound like a lot, but it really does add up. So if you're not sure, that would be the goal that I would recommend to begin with. If you can only even do 20 minutes a day, give it complete focus. I know like Gina Moran, she built a huge business based on this, like her 10-minute work breaks between her two jobs. So it definitely does add up. So consistency is more effective than occasional bursts. I also found this out the hard way. So you probably all heard this, seen this table. If you double a penny every day, it adds up to much more than if you double a penny every other day for the same 30 days. So millions versus just $100 or so. Just because if we're doing a big burst in a particular day, we underestimate how often we're doing that work. So a little bit every day does add up faster. Plus it's the habit thing. The habit really does make a difference. So this funnel is what's in the training video from Alan Noble. You need to talk with a lot of different people, let them see what you have, do the presentation, do the follow-up, and then for those who are interested, they can sign up as a customer or associate. So there's some rules of thumb that are out there, and everybody's stats is different, and that's okay. It can be fun to track what it is for you. So you may need to talk to 10 people to get one prospect, and it may take 10 prospects to get an enrollment, and so forth. So the consistency is what fills the funnel, because it can take time for people in the funnel or in the queue, if you want to talk about it that way, to make their decision. They talk about that it can take about 10 interactions before somebody decides to buy. So the follow-up is super important. R4R loves to say the term business loves speed. It's taken me a long time to figure out what he's talking about. It's just that when we start, we're just tend to be, that's when we're excited. And if we can get some feedback on our effort right away, like we get somebody signing up, that sustains that excitement and motivation. And the same as you have a whole team of people who are also seeing to see what kind of progress that they're getting. And everyone shares what their accomplishments are. That makes it fun. Yeah. So, and for those of you with a team, your urgency is their urgency. If it takes you a week to get back to somebody, when you said that you would call them the next day, they're going to understand that they don't need to be in a hurry either. So do what you say, what you're going to do, and speed, time matters. We already talked about above the line and below the line. The Amazing Molecules training is now Discover Redox training. There's a tool on there called MTR, which stands for Measure, Track, and Report. That's where you track how many customers that you reach out to, how many follow-ups you do, so that it gives you a gauge of your activity level, both above and below the line. Be sure to do the follow-up. 80% of sales occur after 5 interactions. Most people don't do that. 5 is a lot. If you're tracking it. I find it very helpful to have someplace that I can write things down, so that I know what I told each person. Working with a team is way more effective than trying to do a lot of sales by yourself. So there's a term in ASEA called getting binary qualified. It's just part of the structure of the compensation plan. It just means to recruit 2 other associates. That's the first stage. Like when you first become an associate, if you can recruit 2 other associates in the first 2 weeks, you get an extra little bonus for that. If you don't get that, that's okay. It's still always possible to do that. but people who are able to are like 16 times more likely to be able to become, to earn more. And whatever happens, just keep recruiting. The bringing more people in is the key thing. And when you get an associate, be sure to take the time to help them to know how to succeed and get their first associates and customers going. Duplicate just means that the people that you recruit know what to do and that they know how to help their team get started as well. So R4R had mentioned, so like for those of you who want to think on the bigger side of things, these are some focus areas that R4R had shared. So when you first are starting out, that's when you're doing the most work. You're doing most of your time just recruiting. You're learning the skills, you're learning how, what environment it is, and you're just working hard. After the 100,000 range, you're doing mostly on leadership development, helping your team learn how to also be successful and duplicate, and promoting events. Big things happen at events. If you can have people come to events like convention, in-home meetings, that kind of thing, it really does make a difference. And then in the larger income earners, mentoring and being leadership and brand is a really big component. So here's a couple things in the compensation plan to know about. The terms binary tree, binary qualified. Oh, let me just get to them. So the compensation plan in ASEA is built super fair. I've heard a number of associates comment that it's a very well paid compensation plan as well. They look at recruitment from two different perspectives. Binary tree is just a way to look at things. It has two legs, your team leg and your personal leg. And then there's the sponsor tree, which is just people that you directly sponsor and the people that you sponsored who have sponsored other people. So the team leg is where, so if I recruit somebody and I've already have my two people recruited, it overflows down the team leg so that it fills that one side of your binary tree. So that allows you to have that volume. So you just have to focus on building the volume on your other leg, which is your personal leg. So once those two volume are basically equal, then you can earn commissions for those. So it's just they call it manna from heaven, it's an extra volume that you get to count in your compensation. Your lesser leg is whichever two of these legs has less volume on it. It could be either one. In the compensation plan, they talk about a bunch of different kinds of points. This is just an easy way to sort out, to make things easy to talk about. So rather than saying so many of this kind of product or that kind of product, they just talk about points, so equivalent. So to make it easy, so if you need 200 points for something, just assume for sake of discussion that that's 2 cases of ASEA for in a month. Because 1 case is 4 bottles of ASEA redox liquid. So there's a couple different abbreviations related to volume points. Is commissional volume, personal volume, group volume of different kinds. So just, it's all the same number of points. So the first bonus that I'd mentioned is being what we call binary qualified within the first 2 weeks. That's recruiting 2 other associates within the first 2 weeks after enrolling. Be sure to meet with your associates and do a getting started interview. You can also do, or I like to be able to offer that to do a launch meeting for them. So on Zoom or in person if you can, where they can invite their friends and host them to be able to learn about ASEA. It's a great way to help them to get binary qualified. And there's a video link there that shares about what's involved in that. The compensation plan also talks about what they call the core rank. That's what they call the Director 300. That means that you're binary qualified, you have 2 associates, and each of those 2 legs have at least 300 points coming in. So that's basically three cases of ASEA on each leg that commission week. The core rank is the building block for higher ranks, and I'll get to that in just a minute. So we are paid each week. Yeah. These are some income ranges for the different rank levels. So a director averages about 300 a week. Director 300 averages about 400 a week. I like the core rank keeps things kind of simple, and it's like a Lego blocks. It's just the building blocks. So the first rank group is just about being binary qualified and how much volume you have on both legs. So the requirements for each level help you to meet the requirements for the next levels. So it's having a team and having volume. The executive ranks are in additionally having how many Director 300s on your team plus volume. So here's a summary of that. So for example, to get to gold, I would need 4 Director 300s in my team who are active that week, plus 5,000 points on each leg. Once you get to bronze and above, you're eligible for the executive momentum pool. They call it the EMP, which I love. Once you hit that rank for at least 2 weeks in a row, then the EMP is on and you start earning a percentage of the global volume for your rank. So there's a number of shares that you have for your volume that you have that's pulled from the global pool. But anyway, it's just a great way to get some extra cash going on. And so there's little few strategies that we can talk about later about how to get that going. Note with the EMP, you can earn multiple bonuses at the same time. And because there's a limited time frame that you can have the EMP bonus active, don't force a rank. In other words, don't buy an extra case of something that week to try to just hit the rank or to turn that on. When I say let it be natural, just already have enough customers and volume and associates so that you're regularly hitting that rank before you turn the EMP on if you can, because then you're more likely to be eligible each week that is possible to earn that. I hope that makes sense. So just be sure to keep building is the key. There's tons of tools to help. There's a compensation plan summary in your virtual office that you can go see. Connect with your upline. We're here to help each other. So please talk to us and let us know how we can help you, especially knowing what your goals are so we know how to help outline for you the tasks that you need to do to be compensated, to meet those. This is a quick look at the compensation plan summary. The training website, which I already mentioned. So establish your why, make a plan, mindset, and decide on your daily routine. Those are the key things. With that, that's everything.
Nice job, Diane. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diana.
Thank you.
Very well done, Diana. Thanks.
Does
Thank you.
anybody have any questions?
All right, thank you. That's everything for today. Thanks for coming, everybody.
If your questions, send them to us even between the meetings. And I would like to make an announcement for next Friday. Initially today, we are planned to come Dr. Dick Walker and his wife Nancy. Unfortunately, something happened in their family and they had to cancel their participation today. And we call on a short notice Jerry White and Marcia, and you could see Marcia standing at the opening of this meeting. So I would like to express my gratitude to Marcia and Jerry for having replaced at the last minute, particularly Dr. Dick Walker and Nancy. So next Friday, hopefully they will be away from any adversity and they will be with us. So what was planned to do today is postponed for a week next Friday. And I recommend you come back and with your guests and invitees.